Hey there.
Hey, hi, Lucas. I was just about dropping a message. Hello. Can you hear me? Oh, you're speaking, but I cannot hear. You're muted. Okay.
Yeah, of course I didn't notice. Yes, hello.
Hi. Hi. Hello. Oh, okay. Yes. How's your week been?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yours? So good?
Uh, yeah. Good. Actually, we can speak. I'm trying to check you too. Yeah. Mhm. Okay.
Before you start live streaming, don't forget to change the title in the
I
restream.
think I have. I had done that. Done that. I'm just trying to check YouTube if, yeah, I think it's working. Okay, so once again, welcome everyone. Lucas and Tuli and any other person that will be joining us later or be watching this recording later. Welcome to the marketing working group meeting. All right. So I think we have a little bit of point of agenda. Our last meeting, we kind of like focused a lot on the cheat sheets, and we didn't get to talk about any other thing. So, yeah, okay. We have someone here. Hi, Hakun. Am I pronouncing that right? Hello. Can you quickly like introduce yourself? I think this is the first time you're joining us in this meeting.
Sorry, your voice cut off. Were you asking about me?
Yes, I was asking about you. I said,
Oh,
can you quickly introduce yourself? I think this is the first time I'm seeing you in this meeting.
yes, I've joined the marketing meeting for the first time. Previously, I joined one of the design meetings. Actually, I'm not sure which meetings are we supposed to join, so I was just going through the community GitHub repository and I was just seeing. I think we had a community meeting on 29th October also, but it got cancelled.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Because
wanted to join that meeting, so I am relatively new in this community, so I'm just here to explore. Uh, I'm just here to explore and contribute. Currently, I am contributing in Layer 5 organization. I'm the community manager in there. So I just wanted to explore the async API community also.
amazing. Amazing, Agon. Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. Amazing. You're welcome. Okay. I think we can get into it then. All right. I'm going to start resharing my screen. I think Lucas dropped some comments and probably you'll be able to give us more context today. All right. Let's go. Mm, I'm going to share my screen. Yeah. Not supposed to be. I opened it already. After the. All right. Okay. So I think this is it. I'm going to drop this to the restroom, but I'll be having to do the whole. Okay, let me just drop this on YouTube. No live. I'm not seeing it yet. I'm not seeing it yet, so I'm going to drop it soon. But then I saw your comments. I saw your comments, Lucas, here. I'm not really sure I grasped the whole idea of this comment. So I don't know if you can like give more context to it.
You mean the marketing strategy? Okay. Let me open it up. Because I anyway need a bit more context because I added it like 2 weeks ago and my memory is not the best, let's say. So it was about the goals, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I think it's the primary goals. Is it possible to somehow organizing goals in the list? Oh yeah. So the thing is that like so the whole goals and objectives, right, section, like we have this large table with all the different goals, like increase the number of community maintainers, etc. But they're goals, but they're not objectives. They're like goals to like actions to do something. And the section before we have our values, which I try to interpret as kind of objectives, because I'm missing the objectives. So basically, my suggestion is, if I'm right, of course, saying that values are objectives. I just, for clarity of the goals and that you have in the table, I suggested that it would be nice to see, because now it's a huge list of goals, which it's hard to understand to what objectives they relate to, like what they address, basically. It's like a bunch of nice actions, but what's the why we do, for example, showcasing of exceptional talent? Like, is it what objective it relates to, what value it relates to, why we want to do it, basically. And I know we have description and we have tactics, but basically why, like somehow categorize why exactly this given goal is on the list, what it relates to, from the values or objectives, depends what you
Okay,
know.
so you're suggesting that the objectives should be added then alongside with the goals and then the description and the tactics. Start.
Or basically have the table separated by the objectives, that these are the goals for this objective and that these are the goals for the other objective. How you want to organize it, it's up to you. How you think it's going to be much clearer. If probably keeping one table is okay, it's just about adding column and specifying to what objective it contributes. Because you probably have some goals contribute to two objectives, not just one. If that's a case, then it's better to have one table. If you think it's better to separate it by and have separate sections and table per section, that's completely fine. But the thing is, like, it's now not clear. So you have this when you go to the document, you see these values, like making our project easy to for contributors, dynamic engagement, fostering the adoption of event-driven architectures, and these are nice values. But then, like, are these goals because of the values? Like, I'm missing the link, the connection.
Okay.
And that's one part. And the second part of my comment is about, like, to identify the overlaps, because I mean, when I was adding this comment, there were the goals proposal from Thule was not yet there. But now when we have it, it's even easier to explain. So, for example, when you go to the, let me drop an email. Link, I mean, link in the chat. And
Okay, this.
yeah, exactly. So there are, like, challenges defined and objectives. When you look into files tab, you're gonna see the document. Oh yeah. Yeah. And there are objectives. I didn't add my comment yet because we need with request that we need to be a bit more specific, but if it comes to more generic in case of the objectives. But basically, you can see that one of the objectives is creating onboarding documentation, which is more a goal, but it's still about, I know where it's coming from. It's like to have onboarding documents and video. The goal to have these is to make contributions easier, and, like, shorten the time from, hey, I'm new to the community, hey, I opened the pull request, somehow to shorten to make an experience better. Like, for example, Hargun, what she said, like, she's not yet sure about what meetings she has to join. So she basically is well motivated. So she tries to attend every meeting and learn from the meetings what they're about. But would be much better if we have a community documentation that explains it, like, in a good way. Like, hey, what's your purpose in the community? You're good in design, then that's your path. That's what you have to learn about. If you're for docs, that's what you have to learn about. And it's all because, like, the main objective is to make the contributions easy. And now we have, like, from the community perspective, from Thule perspective, we have this as a objective to have an onboarding documentation for contributors. And in your marketing values, you also have project easy to contribute. So we have this kind of overlap of objectives, which I think with your roles, of course, we might have this overlaps. They might show up. And then there's that's all about my comment. Like, do we as a community accept that we have overlapping objectives? And if yes, then we have to make it clear. Like, in your table, it has to be visible that this goal is related to this particular objective, and there's an overlap with this and that action planned in the community management, for example, to clarify these things. So we, first of all, you know what are your objectives and your goals and where you overlap. and then that's also clear for others, like how they can contribute, etc. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Totally.
Yeah.
Um,
Because like from the previous comments, you probably noticed like I'm not sure if all the questions are answered, but basically like I like the goals. It's just about I'm with the community for so many years and so close that I understand also many things without even if they're not explained in the strategy document. But I don't think there are so many people as I am that are so much involved for many years. So that's why we need this, especially that it's strategy. We need to have it clearly defined and explained.
I think that the reason there's probably like some overlaps was because the strategy was for community marketing. So it's to embed the community aspect of things and also like the marketing part of it as well. So I think that's why there's a lot of overlapping. If I should make it just marketing strategy, we might not have a whole lot of overlapping because it's just going to be focused on the growth of the community, which is almost something that's including the engagement as well, which is almost something like what Tuli also is doing. So they'll just be easy to keep
So
overlapping.
from my perspective, it's like it's pretty clear you're a community marketing person. So as I said, like I completely understand that there might be overlaps, and I mean it's obvious. It's just that I think it's obvious because like it's community marketing. It's not a typical marketing. So it's a bit wider scope in what you have. So that's why I'm not questioning if you should have this overlap. It's more about making it transparent and like align this. Like, okay, we all know, like have mentioned, like, hey, when you're gonna watch the other one, you're gonna see the same objectives, but in the end, it's community objectives. They might overlap. It's just about making it clear, making it transparent that we, first of all, we can even have the same name for the objective. But the goals, in the end, your goals will be, or differently, like you're gonna have different goals that will still contribute to the objective.
Tilly, you want to speak?
All right, so I think we can simplify it, right? We can have like, because the goal that I have here, right, especially like for creating onboarding documentation. So this is to assist like on carrying on from the previous goals whereby we are expanding like the content, the community content bucket. So on Bambi's other hand, it's more focused on community marketing and getting like more people involved in what we're doing. So it's my view from Bami, like to promote the current content that we as a community or from I don't know how to put it, like the ones that we are writing and the ones that we are creating, then Bami from the other hand promotes what we currently have. I don't know how she's going to put it, or am I missing the point? But I don't know if they are different, but at the same time, they are the same. I don't know if this is making sense because from my own perspective, from Chuli's perspective, we currently don't have some of these documents and the video content. So it's something that we're gonna create from scratch. And from Bobby's end is more of like marketing the content that we've already created and making people aware of this documentation. Correct me if I'm wrong, or am I looking it way too differently?
I think you're correct. So the major thing and most of the strategy or the goals that was written there is to create and promote, mostly create and promote. So then the creation parts can now be like for the community bit of it, and then I'm going to continue the promotion. But I think for some of the goals or objectives that overlap, it will just be nice to make reference in the other documents that this goal, this objective is same as what is in the community goals for 2025, but this is the goals the marketing working group is using to achieve this objective, and this is the goal the community is using to achieve that goal as well. So for instance, there is create, there is promote. So a community can focus on creating all these documentations and the video content, while I do the marketing, do the promotion of all the documentations and video content, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but like, so basically make it clear, because when you then deep dive into the goals on the community marketing, it's again, like even on the goal level, it's not clear that it's just about promoting. Like for example, if you have a goal that is called Async API Confountor or utilize community initiatives and mentorship programs, these are described as like some activities around them describe the entire activity that the mentorship program has to take place, that we have events, etc., etc. And the same you're gonna find in the community goals for 2025 in Thule document. There's also about conference, that there's also about the marketing. So basically we duplicate, we might over communicate something, and that has to be somehow like aligned. I'm not gonna give you a clear recipe how to do it, because there are many different ways I think that it can be done. The simplest is just put the names, and then it's clear, okay, this is in the guideline, this is in the goals, but that's the person that is gonna run it, so it's the same person that has it in their goals. Or you might even think about, okay, you collected so much feedback already, maybe it's time to create a new pull request that maybe we have one community and marketing strategy, one document created by both of you, not two separate documents. And then in one big document, you like, because again, like in many cases, objectives will relate to each other. Goals will relate to each other. So maybe it's better to somehow combine them. It's going to be much more difficult, I think, to achieve, but that's also one way of doing it. But basically, if I'm a person from the outside, I will be confused, like why I have the same subject into the same goals in two different, or maybe they are not two different groups, but yeah. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I know what you're trying to say. Again, I think that's what the name of strategy. What?
Okay, but Lucas, let's
Yeah.
put it in this instance, right? So with the way that we strategize and things, right? Since marketing working group falls under the community working group, right? Still, it is one way or the other still serving the community goals. I know it's more focused for what we're doing for the community repo, right? But still, it is under marketing working group, of which is under the umbrella of the community. Then won't it be like killing two birds with one stone? I don't know if it's making sense from how I had things in mind of how we're gonna structure things.
I don't
Not
think
sure I
I
get
understood what you mean.
Okay.
Okay, so this strategy, is it community marketing strategy or marketing strategy?
It is
Community
community.
marketing.
Community marketing, right? So we have a marketing working group which is in charge of the whole objective of the goals, right? Then marketing working group is falling under the community umbrella. How we are structuring things, like we have now the community working group umbrella. So the goals that we have, like for the community goals, so which means like marketing can take like some of the responsibilities from these goals that we currently have on the proposal, but still serving what we currently have on the community goals. I don't know if I'm putting it clear.
So I like in the end, wait, I just want to confirm. Yeah. So just to clarify, so you mean that you mean that the community marketing strategy should be part of working group marketing working group strategy?
Yes. Or is it
Yes.
separate? Yeah, is it separate? Because who is in charge of the community marketing, Doc? Is it the marketing or the marketing working group? I think let's start from there. They need to be clear how we'll bid on it.
And so yeah, so that's the thing, that community marketing, I think it's broader than what we envisioned for marketing working group. Although maybe not necessarily. Like, so you see, I'm confused because again, like I'm 100% I understand that there might be overlap. And for example, in your Tuli, in your pull request, it's clear in the way that you have a list of initiatives and programs that we run as a part of the community initiative, and there are names. And I can already from this list see, okay, from the community, from the large community perspective, from the large community umbrella, we have this and that initiatives. But then when I look on the list and I see name, okay, Student Ambassador Program BAMI, and you probably have it in the marketing strategy. Yeah, and then I see it mentioned and a Student Ambassador Program in the marketing strategy. Then I can somehow wrap my head around, okay, that this community goal is like a larger goal, and some of the initiatives they run by people from different initiatives,
Different working group.
With
different
different
groups.
programs, people you see people, we have community builders running the programs, right?
Yeah.
Who are in charge of this. So right now we have Bami, right? And she's also chairing the marketing working group. And we have this community marketing strategy, which is part of the big umbrella of the community, the umbrella of the community working group. So what I'm saying is, since we have an overlap from the community side and the marketing side, I still think like it can be part of what BAM is doing as the marketing working group, then still it still serves as part of the whole community overall initiative. I don't know if it's making sense now.
Then, so we basically, so maybe what's confusing is that we have, okay, so there are two people with some specific, let's say, job title. They have their strategies and objectives, but sometimes they cross work.
Yeah.
So then my question is, Student Ambassador Program, should it be part of the marketing working group or community working group?
So the
Because
student ambassador program is part of the community working group, which is also overseen by the person in charge of the marketing working group. Do you see how it's going? So it's serving both the marketing and also the community. But without the community, we are not here gonna have the student ambassador program. Do you understand?
I
Yeah.
think I can. Okay, can I? Can I now? So I think the best way out of this is since there's a lot of overlapping at all, we could just have a document. That's why it is called community strategy and community marketing strategy. So it will be like both community goals and objectives will be there, and also for marketing goals and objectives to be in just that one strategy. And then we can now have all the list of who is going to be spearheading and be handling any of the goals that will be in that strategy. For example, on the metrics board, if you check the metrics board, you will see some things is for you, Lucas, some is for Tuli, and that's the work distribution or tax distribution. So it's just going to appear in that one doc. So picking from what you just said, we can have another pull request where we'll pick out some things that are necessary from the marketing part and add the community goals to it as well. So we have just in one doc both community and marketing strategy, and who is going to be spared in it. That makes sense.
But now the thing is, okay, I think I need to wrap my head around it. Wait, but if we include like community goals or the community working group umbrella as part of marketing, won't you be confusing? I mean, okay, I think click away on the three dotted and click view file like in README. I think you
But
might understand how on those three dots.
is it three dot?
Three dot menu, top right.
On the
Oh.
top right.
Oh, my stuff was covering it. Okay.
View file.
And click view file. Yes. So the thing is, we have community builders under the community working group, right? Scroll down, you see how the whole how we are putting structure to how we work. It's just a community working group umbrella. So like now, should we put marketing as just one, and like it as a program, or should it still go under working group? Then we know, okay, community marketing strategy falls under the marketing program. I don't know. I don't have any answer to it. I really don't. I don't know.
So like for me, it's more clear that student ambassador program is part of the community. We always we usually discuss it during the marketing meetings, because I think for Bami it's natural that she's taking care of marketing working group, she's taking care of the student ambassador program, so it has to be done under marketing working group. But it's not like the specifics and the whole idea behind student ambassador program. Details are not really part of the marketing, because like the program is not much different from Async API ambassador program, the main ambassador program for the professionals. Because like in the end, Async API ambassador program, it's also part of marketing, right? Because it's like about having professionals talk about Async API and market Async API. So seeing student ambassador program from the community working group perspective, it's clear to have it here. So just to answer that part, and the working groups, of course, because they're community, they're giving structure for the community work.
Because, okay, let's put it like this, right? So we have the conference conference, right? So conference already it's on its own. It's a program on its own, but we have put it under the working group, right? Of which, for instance, like for ambassadors, it's also part of conference work because they do like also. Am I hearing? Okay, they also do like the work like to also put visibility in the conference, speaking conferences, and also they also do the work of marketing because they are like our direct marketers, but still is under what the conference working group. So this is what I'm saying, like maybe this marketing strategy can still be part of marketing or the marketing working group, the same as how we put like conference coordination. I don't know if this makes sense, but I don't know. Oh, we have a suggestion from Hakun.
Right.
Oh,
Akun, do you want to unmute to speak as well?
Sure. So, since we were talking about community marketing and community engagement, I think that apart from the onboarding documentation, of course, I think that we could have a meeting every 2 weeks or once a month, where we can meet all of the new contributors and encourage them to introduce themselves. And also, we can give them an overview of what is Async API, what it does, and all of the repositories that we have. And we can ask them their interests of their contributions, like where they want to contribute in the documentation side, in the CLI side, or in the front end side. I think that it'll increase community engagement overall. That was just one of my suggestions. I apologize if this is already being done and I'm unaware of it.
Yeah.
You mean like a welcome meeting or?
Yeah, the new
Yes.
conversation. I think that's what you meant,
okay.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Something like what I and Ace wanted to revive, but we were saying that we want to reduce the level of meetings, and that's why we are focusing more on the documentation part of things.
Oh, got it.
No, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Agun.
The advantage of this meeting that you suggest is because like in the end when somebody will start working regularly on creating the onboarding content, this welcome meeting and the questions that will pop up during the meeting, they will be a good let's say source of inspirations for the onboarding docs, because like basically people working on the onboarding docs will learn what actually people need, what questions they ask, what has to be answered properly. But isn't it, Tuli, do you already know
Yes.
how people that will mentor the onboarding documentation for the mentorship, how they plan to work? Will they work in open or rather not?
Like as in like, yeah, they will work in open, not closed.
Yeah, I mean open, like like the previous experience we had in the mentorships was that like usually like especially that I know it was like this in case of docs, like the preference was that it's the coordination work was rather a private meeting, so people could, without stress,
Oh,
voice out their
okay.
opinions, etc. So of course the work that they were doing later was in public, but the meeting itself was like private to give the mentees like the safe space. But for example, what I did in GSOC generator was that I organized a meeting that is maybe not live streamed, but it's still recorded, and it was anyone could join it in the generator channel.
Okay.
So it was like allowing participation,
From other people as well.
yeah.
Okay. I'll have to find out because different mentors have different requirements, and like for dogs, right, they might prefer to have it. Like for instance, like me, I used to prefer like having the private meetings because at least it will give that leeway of having like focus on the work that they're writing. But it also makes sense like to have now in open. I mean, like also with the maintainership that we are moving forward with, it will make sense like to start having like not recorded meetings, not like how we do with the home working group meetings, but also like involve other people who want to get involved like with dogs. But for now, maybe if we can start implementing next year or speak with other mentors if they are comfortable with it. But as far as I know, it will be, yeah, if it's how we explained it now, as far as I know, it will be like for the mentors and their mentees. It won't be like as open to others as well. But yeah, let me see how we can put it. But it can be a requirement for next year as well on how we can improve that maintainership.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, Hargun, it's I think in general it's really a good initiative. It's just that yeah, there's so much happening that like having another meeting, it's scary for people. And also we have this community meeting where in theory anybody can join and also ask for some directions. So so yeah, it's not so straightforward topic and commitment.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Right.
Yeah. And just to clarify, Bami, you said you had a chat with Ace, right, about it as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
It's also something related to it initially. So we wanted to revive it. But since Postman, I've not really asked him so much about it anymore.
yeah, Postman. Because I remember, yeah, but again, prior Postman, Ace was doing a lot of these meetings, a lot of
Yeah.
onboarding meetings, but he was doing them like few meetings a week privately with people, so to give them space, etc. But that was like taking over his lifetime.
His time.
And I remember telling him like stop doing private meetings because like it's not scalable solution, and start just regularly doing those recorded meetings so people can join every 2 weeks, or even if you really want to do it once a week. But then yeah, Postman layoffs.
Yeah. I mean, the other solution, I mean, that's the reason why we are having these onboarding docs, right? At least because having these meetings, at some point, you need also consider the mentors. There's no time, like literal time is what we don't have. Some people contribute part-time, not everybody's full-time. But what I always suggest to everybody who comes and asks me is like to like get familiar with particular project that you want to contribute. Is it docs? Is it design? Like for instance, design aspect, they have a dedicated design meeting. So yeah, if somebody's interested in the design, just go to the design channel and see how they do. With docs, it's different. There are different steps that you need to complete before you can really like start contributing to Async API repo. Same with marketing, same with conference, same with generator. Lucas also have goals for generator. It's different with CLI. So yeah, it's kind of quite hectic.
I think for us, given that we have like working groups, I know where Argun is coming from because there's always like this weekly newcomers meeting at Layer 5. But then given that we have working groups, that we have like meetings bi-weekly, any new members that join, any member that join the community and is joining any of these meetings, any of it, they already get to understand either they are joining the marketing meeting, or they're joining the conference working group, or the docs, or any other working group. They already understand to an aspect what these working groups are about and how they can contribute to it. So that also like just defeats the idea of having a weekly newcomers meeting as well, or bi-weekly newcomers meeting. So I think the onboarding doc will do a whole lot of work in that regard. All right. That being said, so shall we go back to this
Yeah.
now?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So are we concluding that? Okay, please.
Sorry, because I'm looking at this diagram like the whole time, even when we talked about this onboarding meeting, I was looking at this diagram, and maybe it's the easiest will be when it's basically disconnected from the like, for example, this diagram, the structure, this split of responsibilities, like who's running what program. Maybe that should be a completely separate Markdown document, like an program overview and responsibilities or whatever.
Okay.
And it's then not part of the community building goals, because I now understand why it's in the community building goals, because it's like it's an overview that gives you a bigger picture. But in the end, if some of the programs are anyway also in the scope of community marketing, because community marketing is doing the marketing part and the community management is doing the other part, so maybe in general that should be separated, and both strategy and any other strategy should just reference to this programs overview, because and then it's like like looking from the perspective of Async API document, for example, like technically how it works, like in event-driven architectures, you have different parts, you have messages, you have channels, etc. And you most of the time you have multiple services that overlap each other. They might communicate to the same topic, or they might listen from the same topic, or they might share the structure of the message. And the best Async API document is when there are not many details in the document, but just references. So when you publish, you just say, I published to this topic, and that's the structure of my message. And maybe we should try to be also a bit technical if it comes to the strategy documents, to not produce too much content that it's overlapping and it's basically using different words to explain things, and be like really straightforward and say, okay, our objective is, and now I didn't have it in my mind, so I might say something and then say it doesn't make sense, but let's try. So we have this objective, like make improve time from I don't know, first visit in Slack and then first contribution, or let's call it objective like make contributions easier, or contributor experience better. So that's an objective. And then if it's realized by the mentorship program, or if it's realized by some working group or some other solution, that's a reference information. The goal and the strategy doesn't have to be detailed about who's doing what and under what program or in what group. It's just a reference information. And what you need to know whenever you define goals is basically the name of the goal, more or less what it means that you're gonna do, and that's it. And the if it's under the I don't know, like for example, in case of the strategy, the goals and objectives for marketing strategy. Wait.
Here.
Yeah, I have it open on my side. I'm looking through it.
Rami, do you mind scrolling down? Because there's something I want to
Yeah. Okay, here.
Okay. Okay. All right. Lucas, how about this, right? How about we have the community building goals as they are, right? Then we have the community marketing strategy goals as part of marketing. Then we can cross-reference what we both have, the overlapping things we can cross-reference on both documents, because I know that with marketing, right, there are specific things that are needed, like same as we have in the community building goals. I don't know if it makes sense. Or else we can see what is overlapping between me and Bami so that at least there won't be repetitive content, and see exactly which aspect of the overlapping goals that we're going to focus on, at least so that, I don't know, I'm just trying to figure out how we can best do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's also completely fine if we're not able to find the answer during the meeting because it's complex topic.
True.
It's
Yeah.
just that like I think that the best example is and we can try to solve it by just one example, and it still resonates in my head, this example of create onboarding documentation and video content. It's an objective in one document, and also we have the application of the same goal. It's called expand community documentation, and it's
Yeah.
under community marketing. And again, I understand that there might show up here and there because from Thule perspective, from community management in general, it's needed. From marketing, community marketing, it's also needed, but there are small differences because, like in case of community marketing, what Thule has, it's specifically she specifically says it's onboarding materials, while in the community marketing, expand the community documentation is a bit broader. It's it, for example, mentions translation of the documentation, which is which might be much more important from the community marketing, because then you can reach with the translated documentation. You have this community marketing tool that allows you to reach audiences that we couldn't reach because of not having multilingual documentation.
Okay, I get you. But now let's look at cities, right? Currently, we don't have onboarding materials. We don't. So the people who are facilitating this is from the community report, which is from the community side. So at some point, without the community spearheading to make sure that we have the onboarding docs, then marketing can't push for us to translate those documents. Do you get how it's now overlapping?
Okay. Tuli, one of the whole translation thing is not just for the onboarding doc. It's mostly for all the documentations that we have in Async API, how to use any of the Async API specifications or tools. So it's having translation in other languages like Chinese or Spanish or Dutch, so that it can reach a wider audience. So I think that's how it is for marketing. But for community is for creating more onboarding documents that helps the newcomers, that helps the community member, that how am I going to put this? That like make it accessible for the community members, and it kind of increase or makes their experience better when they join the community, because they have all the documents they need when they join to understand what the community is about. But for the marketing side of expanding the documentation is for a wider reach. Now we both have documentation as like an objective, but our goals are kind of different.
Oh, so it is different, Lucas. It's not the same actually, because my goal is to expand like the community content bucket and expanding the onboarding document. For her, it's more like creating a wider reach of currently the documents that we have at Async API. So I think maybe if we need to rename it from the marketing aspect of things, because I thought maybe onboarding document you meant like
Including
what
your
we're currently doing in the
literally
community
all the
side.
documents in the API.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just remember the goal is called expand community documentation. So like if you
Oh,
just read the goals, it's and I know of course like multilingual again, like there are different the goals are a bit different. They might not even overlap. They might be related to the same area, but like totally different people will work on it. Also, community marketing is not just a strategy for next year, it's overall strategy. While community goals you have there specifically for 2025. So again,
yeah.
and there's a difference. But there are this I don't know, maybe we have to really like go through every goal in details and find the nuances in the vocabulary that we use, because again, like if even we it's not even me confused, you also are confused, or I'm just confusing you and that's why you're confused. But maybe I think that if we don't align here, then we're gonna continue be confused and others will be also confused.
Okay. Okay, I
And
think one thing I'll do.
and again, it might be as and solution. And again, don't commit to any solution, especially that we are out of the out of time. But don't think that it has to be some sophisticated solution. In the end, it can be just a additional column with a comments or clarifications or whatever that says like, okay, don't mix it with the community efforts for onboarding docs. It's completely different. Or like, you know what I mean? Like it can be as dummy as just a note, like it's overlapping here or it's not overlapping here. But yeah, just think about it and take into account this this what I said, that maybe it makes more sense if the programs and the overall overview of these different activities, it's separated and then you just reference it from both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We are past time.
Yeah.
But there is one of your comment I really want you to also address before we leave.
Yeah, I can confuse you even more.
Did you think about this? I'm not sure I understand.
You have to look on my comments from the other view, because it was a follow-up question from my side. Go to the top of the pull request. And
Yeah.
files changed tab.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, and that's the best view always to follow when you follow up with questions, because then you can also nicely in overview the questions that are visible here. Basically means they are not yet answered. So yeah, scroll down. Below. Oh, You see? And now you see more context because you see it's a question to another question.
Oh,
Yeah, so it was about the roadmap, basically.
okay, okay.
It's because the roadmap you have really like it's like really specific roadmap with some months even assigned to it. But I think you already learned that in open source you cannot bet on specific
do
months to
that.
complete something. So yeah, I just suggest here that you don't have to really have a time frame. I mean, I, for example, as a director, don't expect it to see a specific time frame, which part you're gonna do when. For me, it's the priority list that is needed.
Okay. Priority list.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because in open source day, it's really out of date really quickly.
That's really outdated. All right.
Yeah.
Okay then. All right. Thank you. Okay. I think that's all then. We are actually, I think we're going to we're going to find a way around this. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
And if you need like, because next meeting will be in 2 weeks, if you want, if you're gonna plan some sync call to like brainstorm even more how to get it aligned, you can invite me if you want.
All right.
Although I
Today.
might be too much confusing than helpful.
Me, I don't want to be
I
confused.
don't want to be confused.
I don't want to be confused because right now I'm still wrapping around my head on this. So please
I've
You,
don't
come
confuse me
ready.
anymore.
you better keep me away.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we are not the only ones with the solutions. I mean, since it's open there, people can like also but yeah, let's see how we can define it more clearly where there is no confusion on both strategies and see how we can do it. Maybe like really separate the programs. Of course, it's a lot of work, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think we can just talk about that during our meetings today. All right. That being said, again, thank you all for coming to today's marketing meeting.
Thank you.
I hope we don't confuse folks that is going to be watching this later. They can also drop their comments, please. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. All right. So thank you everyone for coming today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Agon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Hope to
you.
see you next time.
Thank you.
And Fuad. Oh, Fuad was here. Hi, Fuad. Thanks for joining us.
Hi everyone, bye.
Bye
Oh,
bye.
wow. Hi, bye. Okay.